All right, so tables and graphs. So we're going to end up writing an equation, completing a table, and then making a graph. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to translate the equation from words. So we're going to read y is equal to 1 less than 2 times x. So we know that equal sign, so we're going to write the y and then equal sign. And then we're going to do 1 less than, remember 1 less than means subtract, 2 times x. So we're going to write 2 times x minus 1. So if you read it back, 1 less than twice or 2 times x. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take the x values and you're going to substitute for x. So I'm going to rewrite this part of the equation, 2x minus 1. And I'm going to replace the 2 for x, so 2 times 2 minus 1, that's going to be 3. Then I'm going to replace 4. So 2 times 4 minus 1, that's going to give me 7. And then I'm going to replace 6, so 2 times 6 minus 1, that's going to give me 11. And then 2 times 8 minus 1, that's going to give me 15. Okay, so I just got, given my x values, I plugged in my each x value and I got my y values. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write down the ordered pairs. So here's my ordered pairs. So we know ordered pairs are x and y. So we have 2, 3, 2, 3. We have 4, 7. We have 6, 11. And we have 8, 15. The reason why I'm writing these ordered pairs down is because I'm going to graph the ordered pairs on the graph. So you notice that my x is my horizontal, again my y is my vertical, and this is 0. And because I see that my my x values go up to 15, and I don't have quite enough boxes or spaces to go up to 15, so I'm just going to go up by 2s. So I'm going to label this part here 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I know that's a little small. 14, 16, 18, and 20. And I'm going to do the same thing on the y-axis. So go up by 2s, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. And then I'm going to graph my ordered pairs. So I'm going to graph 2, 3. So I'm going to go over 2 and then up 3. So the 3 is between the 2 and the 4 on the y. Then I'm going to graph 4, 7. So 4 and then 7 is between the 6 and the 8. 6, 11. Over 6, up 11 between the 10 and the 12. And 8, 15. So go over 8 and up 15 between the 14 and the 16. So I got my ordered pairs. And then I'm just going to connect the points, and I'm going to put an arrow in there because this is a line that goes forever in one direction. So I have my graph. This is actually a line. So I have my equation, my table, and my graph, and they're all related to each other. So my equation is a representation, my table is a representation, and my graph is a representation. Okay, and they all relate. The next thing we're going to do is y is equal to the product of 3 and x. So you know that product means multiply. So I'm going to write y equals 3 times x. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to replace each x value in for my variable, which is x, to get my y. So I'm going to multiply 3 times 0, I get 0. I'm going to multiply 3 times 1, I get 3. 3 times 3, I get 9. 3 times 5, I get 15. And again, I'm going to make, since I got all my y, I'm going to make my ordered pairs, so x and y. And I got 0, 0, 1, 3, 3, 9, and 5, 15. And you notice I go all the way up to 15 on my y axis, so I'm going to just again go by 2s on my on my graph. Okay, so that's 0 and label 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. So then I'm going to graph. 0, 0, 1, 3. So 1 is between the 0 and the 2. So 1 up 3 up here. Then I'm going to graph 3, 9. So 3 all the way up to 9. Then I'm going to graph 5, 15. So 5 and all the way up to 15. 15 should be between your 14 and your 16. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect your dots. So 1, 3, just 3, 9 should be fine. 5, 15. So 5, 15 is supposed to be right there. Okay, so don't worry about this part here. I just move it over a little bit. 5, 15. And so then you're going to connect your dots. Okay. I'm sorry, this one's a little sloppy. Okay, so again, I wrote my equation. I created my X and Y table, my X values and my Y values. I have my ordered pairs, and then I took my ordered pairs and made the graph. So again, your equation, your graph, and your table all relate. The last one we're going to do is Y equals 2 times X plus 2. So again, I'm going to write my equation, 2X plus 2. Okay? And so we have 2X plus 2. So I'm going to replace 0 for X, and I should get 2 for Y. And replace 4 for X, and I should have 10 for Y. So 2 times 4 is 8, plus 2 is 10. 5 for X, so 10 plus 2 is 12. And then 2 times 6 plus 2 gives me 14. Okay. And then I'm going to write down my X and Y coordinates. So I have 0, 2, 4, 10, 5, 12, and then 6, 14. Okay. Again, I'm probably going to go by 2's here. Probably want to do that. So again, on my X, I'm going to label 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. I'm sorry, I'm going to squeeze this in a little bit. And then 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay, and then I'm going to graph. So I'm going to graph 0, 0, 2. Okay, 4, 10, 5, 12, and 6, 14. Again, I'm creating a line. Okay, and I'm just going to connect them. Should be a straight line. So again, you graph. This is the graph, equation, and table. Okay, so this is the front side. This was the tables and graphs. Now on the other side, we actually were given the equation and we had to fill in the table and then the graph. But on the other side, we're going to be given the table and we got to come up with the equation. So we are going to actually discuss this a lot more in class tomorrow. But to determine what a function, remember, a function is the same thing as actually an equation. So when you hear the word function, it really means the equation, which also means the rule. Is ask yourself the key question, okay? What am I doing to X? What am I going to do to the X to get to the Y? Okay, so remember, you're going to work across X to Y. Are you adding or subtracting the same thing in each row? Are you multiplying or dividing by the same thing in each row? are you doing a combination more than one thing in each time? So if you take a look at this table, what are you doing to x to get y? So you notice, what are you doing to 5 to get 2.5? What are you doing to 10 to get 5? What are you doing to 20 to get 10? What are you doing to 30 to get 15? So you notice that I'm dividing by 2 each time, okay? So my equation would be x divided by 2. So if you replaced x, which is 5, well, 5 divided by 2, does that give you 2.5? Yes. Does 10 divided by 2 give you 5? Yes. Does 20 divided by 2 gives you 10? Yes. Does 30 divided by 2 gives me 15? So we are going to actually discuss this more in class, but what I challenge you to do is see if you can come up with an equation or a rule on your own after this video. So you see which one. So not all of, I mean, you might not figure out all of these, but see if you can do a few on your own and what you can come up with, okay? And we will talk a little bit more in class about the rules and the functions, or coming up with a rule or a function, okay? Or the equation. All right, so again, this is tables and graph notes.